My mom, one of the last requests she asked me was that I would tell her story. Her story is one of hope, redemption, and ultimately transformation. Part of that story became Acres of Hope Ranch, and it's a story that's 50 years in the making. Late 60s, my mom had her drink spiked at a party. They think it was probably LSD, and it triggered a chain reaction in her body, creating a pretty severe chemical imbalance. She was officially diagnosed bipolar, and the problem as she was having these manic episodes back in the day was the doctors really didn't know anything about anything. She was institutionalized and placed into a mental hospital in Roanoke, Virginia. Straight jacket, electroshock therapy, whole 9 yards. My grandmother was told that her daughter would never be a functioning member of society ever again. My grandmother ended up having a vision several months later after my mom had been committed to this hospital that she was supposed to pull her out. And of course my mom was all drugged up on lithium and a variety of other drugs. Was supposed to get her out of there and wean her off the drugs, and so that's what she did. And my mom was truly not functional, and so my grandmother didn't really know what to do and took her over to a friend who had a horse farm. And there was something about the interaction with the horse, and my mom, I think starting out, she said she could just barely stand with the horses and brush them. And horses are incredible because they're such a huge, muscular, powerful animal, but there's a gentleness and there's an energy that I think gets exchanged with horses and humans in a way that is rare. There was something about that dynamic of her spending months and months on that horse ranch where my mom started to experience healing somewhat in her body, as well as healing from past emotional scars. And I think that's where Acres of Hope began. My mom always was drawn to people that had been discarded and abandoned and where society had given up. She was drawn to helping the hurting and the broken, and she committed her entire life to that. One of her dreams was to start Acres of Hope Ranch. She wanted to have a horse therapy where people who were broken, people who were grieving could come and experience some healing and experience these amazing animals and share some of that similar energy exchange. And she ended up passing away before that dream could become actualized. And my younger sister, Heather, picked up the torch, and she's carried it for the last decade. And her husband, Tony, started Acres of Hope Ranch, and they have, over the last 10 years, taken in 19 horses that were discarded and abandoned, some that definitely would have been put down, and they've loved these animals incredibly well and nursed many of them back to health. And at the same time, opened up a place where people can come that's safe, where there's no agenda, there's no pressure, there's just a place to come and be and hang out with these horses and experience an animal that it's almost hard to put into words, but there's almost a love and there's a gentleness and there's a strength that if you spend enough time with horses, you start to just experience. There's just a deep understanding there. Heather's husband, Tony, has been a career firefighter and dedicated his life to serving his community. A lot of first responders, and he's on the front line seeing this up close, are getting forgotten and they're getting discarded, and they're struggling with mental health. Our law enforcement, firefighters, first aid responders, and medics, they are seeing unspeakable things that I don't believe the human brain was meant to be able to process that much trauma. And it's just their job. That's what they see every single day. And the weight of that, I don't think we fully understand. But what we do know is that there is a massive national epidemic, and there is a all-time record highs of first responders committing suicide. And last year, 143 first responders in 2024 took their lives. Which breaks my heart because a lot of these people are good people. They have families and they have kids, and they just have They've seen too much and experienced too much, and a lot of them don't have the resources to get help. And the other challenge with getting any sort of help is that it goes on your record. So a lot of them won't get help because they don't want it on, in their history. And a lot of them, I think it's hard to ask for help. And so Acres of Hope, it's not exclusively for first responders. They do a lot of work with people who are experiencing grief. They do a lot of outreach with children. So it's both. They're helping humans that really have a massive need. They're helping rescue these horses, and the impact that they're having, I've gotten to witness it firsthand. It's truly incredible. It's truly special. We're seeing lives change. I've seen grown, tough guys with more tattoos than I have, start weeping after just 10 minutes of brushing a horse. And the other thing Acres of Hope does is it's a less formal environment, so where somebody may really be apprehensive about going and getting counseling and going into an office and just that whole process, it takes a lot of work to even set foot into a counselor's office, and then let alone find a counselor that is a good fit. Acres of Hope, they're getting to experience nature and beauty. They're getting to experience these horses. It's a very non-threatening environment, and then they're getting to hang out with Heather and Tony, and I think that's where a lot of additional magic is happening, because their hearts for the people in front of them, it's pure love. I think because Tony understands at a deeper level, he knows how to just be present. He knows how to listen. They know how to ask good questions, and they know how to just care in profound ways. Right now, they need financial support. They've sacrificed their personal finances and wealth, and instead of storing that up for themselves, they've spent 10 years giving it all away. They're at a place where they need to have a little bit of independence from that. They also need to be able to increase the impact because the need is becoming greater and greater. Operating a ranch at this scale, just feed bills alone are insane, and then factor in veterinarian bills and everything else that goes into just caring for the horses, and then let alone being able to facilitate all the people that are coming to experience some healing. 100% of the funds are going towards the feed and the bills. No salaries are included in this right now. They're just trying to set this up so that it can be sustainable for the next decade. But it's not just the people that are coming to Acres of Hope that are experiencing healing. We are seeing a generational impact. A lot of these first responders have families. After just spending a couple afternoons on this ranch is impacting spouses and children and close relatives and friends. That impact can be increased and expanded. We ask if you can do $5 or if you can do $15,000. That money is going to go directly into the organization. And then share the posts that they have on Instagram. Share this with your friends. There's a lot more information. If you have questions, go to the Acres of Hope website, and you can hit the link attached here to be able to donate very easily.